last week you made a big acquisition. Could you just sort of outline what that was about, the company that you purchased, and does it change your focus at all, and what you're looking to achieve?
I think we've been obviously tracking this organisation for a while, and we're currently buying organisations that are going to add value to our existing portfolio, but also generate IP that we can bring to our customers, current customers, and future customers as well.
Yeah.
So this 100 million acquisition that we've made is certainly going to do all of those things, as well as bringing IP, also increasing our footprint as a global organisation.
Okay, well, and that's an interesting thing because a lot of companies in the last year in the UK have been looking at the public sector, and particularly smaller service sector organisations trying to increase their footprint in the British public sector. What do you think is changing? I mean, since the budget, the comprehensive spending review, I mean, is there a push towards employing a new breed of supplier?
I think, Mark, you're well informed, because I think there is change happening, and you've probably seen that with the drivers from the government and the messages, and also John Suffolk himself has been pushing this change. And I think I was at a UKTI meeting last night, and it was very clear that the government want to have suppliers, smaller suppliers, more of them, who are actually going to help them be more agile, but also actually help them to get IP back into government, IT environment, both from application, IT, infrastructure, because I think they've been tied in to a lot of the large vendors for such a long time that they feel that the frameworks they're in are tying their hands. So I think we will see that change over the next, 6 to 12 months, and I think there'll be a lot of change.
So it means that the government buyers are getting more intelligent and asking for complete solutions rather than IT boxes, basically.
Absolutely, and I think IP is going to be fundamental going forward. They're not going to pay for building IP and then people walking away with that. I think absolutely the buyer is getting smarter, there's a lot more experience in there, and also what they're understanding now is that there are a lot of small, medium-sized organisations globally, not just in the UK, that actually can come and give them value straight away.
And you think that the fact that John Suffolk's resigned, I mean, is that just mean that things are not moving fast enough?
I think there's different views in the marketplace. I have a personal view, and my personal view is I think he thinks he could probably do more from outside than he's doing internally. And I think there's probably some frustration on things not moving fast enough. Absolutely.
Okay. The next wave of sourcing that we're seeing, I mean, are we moving away from the idea of locations promoting themselves? Locations, India competing with China, this kind of thing. Are we looking much more at the organisation and the service being offered?
I agree with you. I think that locations are changing. I think you'll find India will always be the hub because of the scale that it has and amount of investment that's gone in. But I think there will be new players, and we're seeing that today. I think China will play a part more for the manufacturing type of organisations that have production environments in China. But also I see the South American market growing substantially because to date it's been very much internal looking, and I think the organisations are going to be starting to look externally. But also I think organisations like Zensar will be looking at having nearshore centres for our North American customers, because I think there's benefits with time and also being in the same time zone. I think the benefits in there and language will help. So I think those are definitely growth areas, and we're certainly looking at that in that sector ourselves.
Okay, and then finally, tomorrow morning you're hosting the V8 Power Forum. So you mentioned to me a little bit earlier that one of the focus areas there is multi-sourcing. So if you just explain, is multi-sourcing still important? Because certainly, I think Gartner's been talking about it for about 5 or 6 years now.
Absolutely, and I think sometimes in the early days, multi-sourcing wasn't really fully understood. They thought it was just having somebody delivering from a multi-environment or having multiple suppliers. And I think it's now more about what IP you can get from different suppliers from different regions. And I think it's about the value that's coming from these organisations. So multi-sourcing is about value that you'll get from a company, from a sector, from a domain capability, and that's where organisations need to stitch that together And really, objective of the V8 Power Forum tomorrow morning is to really share some of that best practice where organisations are already doing that today and getting value in running their businesses. So that's our objective.